Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to Valorant News and so much to dive into today. Roster news is in full swing after Champions has concluded. Major rumours about what Sinatraa could be up to, but also T1 making some changes as well, with Steel recently joining their team. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, hitting that like button is the best thing you can do to help this channel reach new people. And please consider subscribing as well if you have not yet already. Loads of new subscribers over the last few days. You're not going to want to miss any of the roster news coming out, I'm sure, in the coming days as well. Firstly, let's talk about the format for the upcoming season. Champions has come and gone. 2022 VCT season is just around the corner. So in North America, in the other regions as well, in Europe, they come up with a pretty interesting structure. So read about it right here as they describe. Georgia's gone to say, okay, 8 new Valorant regional leagues in the European region, because that, of course, there's a lot of countries involved. So they're going to do regional leagues. There's game changers going on and a global event for that one, and also a dedicated amateur circuit. So this is kind of what they've got going on right here, where you've got the amateur circuits here at the bottom. This is, you can kind of see this is like a promotion relegation type thing, where the best teams, of course, will go to champions from the region. Then the next best teams will be a masters. If you do really well in masters, you get to champions, and then kind of onwards down through Valorant challengers, and then the regional leagues are here with the game changers as well, and then amateur circuits also. So pretty interesting format, to be honest. I like the way they've structured this. Really exciting to see. It's really not too far out in the corner. The things start to kick off again here with challengers, then into masters, then into champions. We looked at the season format a couple of videos ago, but yeah, pretty cool to see. I think I like the way this is structured. Of course, there are some questions about North America, whether they're going to do a similar regional league type thing. Maybe it wouldn't make as much sense given there's less countries over there, but I mean, still, they could make something work. Not exactly sure what they plan to do, but yes, this is the format they're going with for next year. It does indeed seem. And let's talk about some Rostermania news. So firstly, this from the guard Jonah. He's joining their squad for next season. There's been lots of talk about these guys trying to make some moves, and yeah, the guard definitely upgrading their roster once again and completing the squad that they're going to go with for next year, it seems. Let's talk about Ascender though as well, because of course yesterday they won. Well, we talked about yesterday, they won the day before now. Champions officially in their bag. Like remarkable performance really from these guys. The fact that they have so many different nationalities on this team. There's always been that discussion, can these squads with all these international players actually work on a very high level? They honestly, they didn't dominate Champions, but they won pretty comfortably, to be honest. A lot of these matches, the last one against Gambit was absurd, but just beating them in the fashion they did was incredibly impressive indeed. Now Zeke has officially confirmed his new contract. It seems like pretty much all the players, with the exception of cNed, have now re-signed onto Ascend for next year. I'm sure these guys want to stay together. They want to keep competing under Ascend for next season. Of course, they want to try and defend their Champions trophy next year, but cNed seemingly as yet hasn't quite yet re-signed. If he's playing the game cleverly, which I imagine he is, then he will field some other offers from other teams, given he's pretty much their number one star player or the biggest name on the squad, and other people might be interested in getting his services. He'll field some other offers, he'll see what other people are offering him, and then he'll go back to Ascend and say, okay, look, I got offered this from there, can you match that deal eventually, and then come back to this team anyway. But no need to rush this, I suppose, with what's going on right now. So of course there's plenty of other roster moves going down. Fnatic, they are making changes. Doma apparently is set to depart Fnatic for their upcoming VCT season. Big news here from VLR.GG coming out last night. Doma is set to leave Fnatic. The upcoming VCT season will mark the end of Doma's tenure with the organization, of course a core member of this Fnatic team. So of course that leaves them with a tentative team of Boaster, Magnum, Turko and Mystic, and then the rest of the guys, of course, being coaches, assistant coaches, all that type of stuff. So yes, Doma apparently is out of there. Changes being made to Fnatic right now, but many other changes to discuss today, right? Because well, this is certainly not where it ends. So this comes out last night. I thought was particularly interesting from the analyst and the coach for LVP and Valorant and Counter-Strike, basically talking about the rosters that are after Champions. What are they going to do with their teams going forward? This translates to the 16 teams that participated in Champions. I understand they will leave the rosters as is. So Ascend are going to stick, Gambit are going to stick. This is of course all apparently what the teams are going to be doing, but no guarantees if this of course is true. This I imagine is what he heard, and a lot of it, to be fair, makes a fair bit of sense. Ascend, Gambit, Team Liquid and Crew all sticking with their roster. That is certainly understandable. Fnatic we just looked at, they might be changing. It seems like Doma's going to be out of there. X10 as well, X10 Crits, they could be moving. Team Secret, Cloud9 Blue. It makes sense, to be fair, that Cloud9 Blue are going to stick, given them, the massive upgrades they made really the last few months of the season. They lost to Team Liquid in the end as well in the playoffs, so not really too bad for them, but potentially they're going to stick going into next year. Now, this of course is where it gets quite interesting. Envy, apparently they're not sticking, and Sentinels is a question mark as to whether they are going to stick or not. Raucus said they're not making any moves, but you can't guarantee no moves given the fact that there's quite some time here before the season begins. Maybe some changes are going to be made. And of course the other teams, the Brazilian guys, Crazy Raccoons, in full sense, they're also looking to make some moves going into next year as well. Now, the reply to this is where things really kick off with regards to what Envy might be up to. So, some questions about what Envy are doing. Now, the rumor is, as he describes it right here, Victor out, rumored, and Sinatraa in. So basically just saying, yes, Victor gone. Of course, he didn't perform particularly well. Of course, Victor, he tested positive at the Champions. That wasn't ideal for him, but, in terms of individual performances, wasn't exactly great. Now, Sinatraa, a lot of people are saying, look, he's probably the best player in North America, arguably, and he's not even playing right now. So, what team is going to actually bite the bullet and take a chance on Sinatraa and make this work? Now, he reckons, yes, it's going to be Envy, Victor gone, Sinatraa in. Now, not everyone agrees with this assessment that this is actually what is going on. Now, of course, some people could be wrong, some people could be right. Who knows who's correct on these issues? And maybe even if discussions are being had, they don't necessarily have to go through. But George Gedder says, look, this is complete lies. He doesn't reckon any of this is true, but, maybe there's something that slipped through the cracks of George's kind of, source net or something, and maybe there is something going on. But, he reckons, look, to clarify, since this tweet may be mistranslated, Envy is not making any changes going into next year, as far as I'm aware. To speculate on each team is still in bad taste, he says. So, yes, apparently he reckons that nothing's going on with Envy. They're not making any moves at all. Now, it seems like this tweet was implying, yes, Victor's gone, Sinatra's in, but, he doesn't reckon that's the case. So we will have to see on this front. I think, to me, that sounds relatively unlikely. Envy tend to be the type of organization to want to keep their roster together if it's had success in the past and not make any moves if they feel like they have to. But, look, if Sinatraa is there as an option, it's tough to look past him, especially if he is looking to get a spot for next year as well. But I'm sure many other organizations might want to consider a guy like Sinatraa to bolster their roster for next year. This, of course, I thought was a kind of interesting set of replies. Firstly, from Raucus, well, actually, this is completely true, and I'm confirming it. I'm actually denying this, and I'm confirming this, says Leaf in the reply. So, yeah, definitely some guys baiting around on the timeline here as to what actually might be going on. But it is certainly unclear what the future holds on this front. This also I wanted to discuss for T1, though, because seemingly 7 over at 100 Thieves, there were some rumors a while ago that they were going to be letting him go because they just don't feel like he's ready for the starting team. Now, T1 might say, okay, yes, actually, we're going to give him a go, because it was recently confirmed that Steel is going to be the in-game leader for T1 next season. Their squad is very much up in the air right now because Swifo is still there, Curry, all this type of stuff, Skadoodle, Automatic, but Automatic has continued to practice without them, or at least they've continued to practice without Automatic, because it seems like he is going to go back to Counter-Strike Global Offensive, as is kind of explained in the article right here. Apparently, T1 has trialed several other players, including Cryocells from Saw, and also they've trialed Tig from Luminosity Gaming, but he has continued to play with LG after that. So definitely lots of questions going on here right now, but still, it's very possible that they actually get 7 into their team alongside Steel. 7, I'm pretty sure, is only like 16 years old right now. So, who knows whether that's going to be an option, whether that's going to be a successful option, but maybe they want to get him off the books of 100 Thieves, bring him to T1, and try and build an actual competitive roster for next year that they were not able to achieve this time around. Also wanted to mention this as well, because the FaZe roster, at least it was tried to be leaked by Cody on stream. He goes into their lobby and he sees these guys, of course, babybay, and some of the other lads that were playing right here. You can't exactly tell who all these guys are. One of the interesting parts of this, though, is because I think some of the FaZe guys are maybe indicating that it's possible that maybe some EMEA players, or at least players from the European region, might be joining the American teams, especially in that kind of in-game leadership type role. And this bad player 101, he has 150 millisecond ping, so maybe that's because he's actually in Europe right now and they're doing that kind of stuff. I don't really know. There was also some drama about this, right? Because this Cody guy seems to just go into a load of people's streams, or like being friends with people, just goes into their lobbies, sees who they're playing with, tries to leak some info, this type of stuff. And Infamous, who's actually the VALORANT manager for the FaZe Clan team, imagine fading into a relevancy in a new game so fast that you have to join at lobbies of the few pros left on your friends list to try and leak roster changes and get attention for your dying stream on Reddit. So definitely some fighting words here coming out from this front. And just wanted to mention this as well from Patty Fan, because of course an X10 player that, as we saw, potentially making some changes a couple of minutes ago, that the VALORANT coach for LVP was suggesting. Now, as he says right here, like he goes onto VALORANT, he goes up to the desktop and he's out of there. So, well, some people think he might actually be retiring from the game entirely. That, of course, would be a big shame. Maybe something else is going on, but definitely something I will keep you guys updated on over the coming days. Very much intrigued to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hitting that like button tells those YouTube gods this is a good video. Others like you should see it as well, and help grow the competitive VALORANT community. Thank you as always, take care, and I will see you next time.